All right, let's start. This will be Town of Hennessey Board of Trustees regular meeting, October 8th, 2020. Roll call, please.
Keith?
Here.
Cliff?
Here.
Bert?
Here.
Wes?
Here.
Richard?
Here. Okay, report from the Hennessey United Board.
I don't know as we have anything, other than we did vote, the board did vote by phone yesterday to help the Lions Club out. We understood they needed some money for some kids who needed eyeglasses. So we voted to donate $500
Awesome.
to the Lions for that project.
Good. Well, Lions has not been able to have fundraisers, so it's been kind of a challenge, I think. Okay, anything else on United? Okay. Item 3 is consider approval of the consent agenda. A, minutes of the September meetings. Approval of claims as follows. September purchase orders, $13,838.59. October purchase orders, $25,394.73. October restricted sales tax fund, $47,953.51. October library fund, $264.55. October street and alley fund, $31.37. And accept the following reports: treasurer's, library, and police. Transfer $17,852.50 from cemetery care CD to pool checking. Transfer $5,000 from street and alley CD to pool checking. Transfer $1,680 from CDBG checking to pool checking. And approve payment of Callan Group invoice using local funds for CDBG number 17767-19. Are there any additions or corrections?
If not, I'll make a motion to move to accept the consent agenda.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Cliff?
Yes.
Wes?
Yes.
Bert?
Yes.
Richard?
Yes.
Keith?
Yes.
Okay, item 4, citizens' comments. Anybody got anything you want to bring up?
I just wanted to check in with Tiffany.
I should have brought the estimates, but I did get the estimate to run the line going around the back. It was $300 and some odd $1,000. It was considerably more.
The original.
Really, they're doing a highway bore and a railroad bore?
Yes.
Wow.
Yes, I think that one was 200 and some, and this one was 300. So,
What was the difference?
what was the difference in the amounts?
No, do we have to go under the highway too?
Yeah, because you have to come off by Energy Meter Systems is the line that you have to come off of, I believe, and cross the highway, and then, because
I don't remember. The plans are on my desk.
I thought they said it was only 2-inch.
Well, that might be true.
Yeah. 2 inches at surge, yes. So
Yeah.
I do know you have to, yes.
So I think in order to
yeah.
get him the water that he needs, I think we have to tie into the, what is it, either a 6 or an 8 that's on the east side of 81.
I'll see.
Yeah. So, I don't.
Well, this isn't on the agenda.
No, it isn't, because I've been busy with some other stuff, but also I wanted to look into maybe some different avenues where we can find some money to maybe be able to assist him and talk to Jennifer. I know we're gonna tonight use the REAP grant to help some citizens with their water lines that we have some problems with, but also maybe look for some economic development money.
There's an EDA grant, that would be Vicky.
So, yeah.
Yeah.
So, because he would be building some some business opportunities
Bringing
out there.
jobs, yep.
So, but
Okay.
that's what my plan is now that I
Okay.
got that, because I got that about 2 weeks ago. So,
Okay. Well, I was gonna suggest.
I haven't dropped it yet, it's still right there, so.
I was gonna suggest if those numbers were gonna be that high, if we needed to look at just extending the 2-inch to get him water at least for a while. I mean,
The only thing is
Are
to
you-
extend the 2-inch, we still have to go under the railroad.
yeah, that's true.
And I thought was there not something that went under to go to the old Conoco plant? Is there not something?
We don't know
already-
where that is, so we still have to go under the railroad. So,
Did we ever get approval from the railroad to do it?
not yet, I mean, because
That'll come.
there's some pretty big fees to go to the railroad to get that too. I mean, that's where some of the big cost is.
In my experience and my full-time job is they drag their feet and you can pay extra to speed them up and they're still slow.
So,
Okay.
but
Okay. Any other citizens' comments? Item 5 is other scheduled business. Discuss, approve, deny, reject, and/or take action on the following. Discussion with possible action to allow ATVs for the Redneck Poker Run on October 24th, 2020. Teresa, I think you're here to speak about that.
I am.
You wanna-
Make me.
She makes all of us do things we don't really do.
We're wanting to do a redneck, it's not a redneck poker run, we're gonna use dice. We're just gonna be on the outskirts of town. Tiffany also mentioned that we have to use the stoplight to cross we're gonna start at Vernost, yes, Wes?
Do what?
I said yes.
they're starting at Vernost.
We're
Okay.
gonna start at Vernost and we're gonna end at Friends.
That's just
Yeah,
No,
that's not
we're gonna be,
block and a half.
you've got to go to 5 stops, I'm not telling you the stops, don't ask. To draw your dice, roll your dice. And they're gonna be some out east, some out south, and then cross the road. Yes, we know we have to come back to town to go to the stoplight and go on that side, just so that y'all know that we will be on the outskirts cemetery in the vicinity. We will be on those roads.
What is this a benefit for?
It is for Donnie and Patty.
Oh, I see. Okay.
Do you have a number about how many participants?
I don't have a clue. I know Kyle Choate's helping us and Gavin Toole, and they all go to visit Disney. And so I know several of those plan on coming to Hennessey to do it, but I don't know how many. I don't know.
Is it just ATVs?
Yes.
Or will it be,
I mean, vehicles, ATVs, all vehicles are welcome, but
So there could
it's
be
gonna be,
cars.
you know, no golf cart, or not golf carts, but, you know, like the Redneck Poker Run, when we did it before, you could ride your bike or scooter or whatever. This is just ATVs, vehicles, Jeeps.
You were wanting
Four-wheelers,
four-wheelers,
three-wheelers.
Yeah.
We didn't know about the 4-wheelers and 3-wheelers.
I'd say the gentleman to that
The
corner.
one I put in the corner?
I think his input on this would be,
What night of the week is that?
It's on a Saturday.
It's on a Saturday.
It starts at 1 and then we will end at Friends at 7.
So it's 6 hours of, how much of that? What are they gonna be crossing? I mean, they're gonna cross the stoplight, I know, but I mean, are they gonna be on the sides, driving up the sides of the roads and things like that? I guess, or?
I don't know, that's why I'm here.
They're gonna
They're supposed
be
to tell me
driving
what we're allowed
the
to do.
side roads.
The side roads, you wanna?
Yes, they want, I have told her they can't be on the state highway. That's,
Right.
you know, you can't be on the state
They
highway.
can't be on the state highway.
Even at Vernos, they can't park They can't park on the
On
highway.
the street, yeah.
Yes,
They'll
so,
have to park in the back.
They'll have to park in the
Yes.
back.
Yes.
They'll have to park in the back everywhere. They can't park along the state highway, and they can't drive up and down the state highway. They can cross the state highway.
yes.
Well, I think she's asking permission to have the ATVs on our city streets.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
I can,
Because there's several of them that I'm sure are not gonna have permits.
on the side streets, it shouldn't be a problem. I mean, if you guys think it's okay to do. On the side streets, there shouldn't be a problem, and what I can always bring out more officers to actually just, watch those streets and make sure nobody gets hit or run over. I mean, I don't know.
I would, the only thing that I would suggest maybe, Teresa, is to have a designated route, and that way we don't have them scattered all over.
We do,
Oh, you do
We
have
do,
a designated
and-
route? I was gathering you
and we
didn't.
will. We know where our route is,
Okay.
and we also,
So like if they say on these certain streets, like, you know what I mean? Like, say,
we
say
will
for
leave
instance,
Renost, and we will go,
well, you don't have to say the routes, but say, there's a stop at the Vernost and say the next stop is at the cemetery. I mean, you got, and you actually have a map and show them how to get to the cemetery. And then they use that road, you know what I mean, to get to the cemetery. So that way that they're
yeah,
not
everybody
going down.
that registers will get a map of where they're going. But we will go as a group, because
Okay.
you're not gonna roll your dice unless we're all together.
Okay,
We
So
will all
everybody's
leave
gonna
at the
travel.
same time, so we will all be traveling in a group.
okay.
I'm good with that. I just make sure you reiterate to them that when they are on the city streets, that they still need to stop at the stop signs. Because I know sometimes you can get in groups like that and,
You don't?
blow past.
Does this need a motion?
There's always an asshole in the group, is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
I forgot about that.
That's gonna be my whole thing, is they have to abide by the laws. I could probably bring one unit out to actually go with group, maybe it's actual group or something. Or, what's the matter?
Nothing.
You'll just have to behave, Teresa.
I make a motion to allow the ATVs for the Redneck Poker October 24th, 2020.
Donnie had open heart surgery.
I second that. Roll call?
Cliff,
Yes.
Bert,
Yes.
Keith,
Yes.
Wes,
Yes.
Richard.
Yes.
Okay, discussion and take action to approve.
Yeah, how can I go?
We're ready.
No, you got to stay till the end.
No?
Thank you
Thanks.
for coming.
Richard, I wanted to tell you your shoes look a lot better today.
Thank you.
Discussion and action to approve all final invoicing and authorize the mayor to sign the reimbursement form for REAP grant number KF 20-2.
The REAP grant was for some water lines that were replaced in town.
Yes, we replaced a water line between, wells 7 and 8. We upgraded it from a 4-inch to a 6-inch, and so we can have more water between the two wells.
Yeah, project's done, so we have the final pay request to reimburse for paying the invoices.
Okay,
So if you wanted the grand total, it will be $37,345.64 that you're asking for reimbursement.
okay.
How far was that line?
What's the
how
distance
long
between
it
wells?
is.
Between 7 and 8.
Well, I mean, was it like a mile?
I
No,
don't,
Oh, like half a mile?
no.
I think it's
I think it's
1,182.
Oh, so an eighth of a mile.
about a
A
quarter.
quarter? Yeah. I just, that's a lot less than what got quoted for that other.
So I'm gonna move
Dad
that-
bid came in really good, about half.
I'm gonna move that we approve the final invoicing and authorize the mayor to sign reimbursement form for the REAP grant, KF
My second.
20-2.
And I'll second it.
Roll call?
Wes,
Yes.
Cliff,
Yes.
Bert,
Yes.
Richard?
Yes.
Keith?
Yes.
You want me to sign it?
Okay.
You have a red pen, don't you?
Yeah.
Why? I'm gonna have you sign.
Oh, I was lying.
She lied.
I'll do it for you.
Thank you. Okay. Discussion and take action to accept the REAP grant as complete and authorize the mayor to sign the affidavit for completion for the REAP grant, KF 20-2.
So yeah, so it is done, and just do this part and say that, yep, we know it's done, and that way we can close the grant.
Sounds good.
Way too much paperwork for us. I'm gonna move then that we accept the REAP grant as a complete and authorize the mayor to sign the affidavit of completion for the REAP grant KF 20-2.
And I'll second that.
Roll call?
Wes?
Yes?
Cliff?
Yes.
Keith?
Yes.
Bert?
Yes.
Richard?
Yes.
Okay. Discussion and action to review all bids
Oh, I have the file.
and award to the apparent low bidder
Yeah.
for CDBG project number 17767-19 and authorize the mayor to sign the notice of award.
Okay, so I think in your packet of stuff, you have a letter from Cowan Group, and it has also the bid tabulation sheet. We have a spreadsheet that's super, super, super tiny.
It's all attached to your notice of contract award.
Yeah.
This is for the drainage, right?
Yes, so now we're switching gears. So we're on your federal grant that you have for fixing your water drainage. We opened bids, have a low bidder, did all the tabulations. So if you find that Cowan Group letter, and then that spreadsheet, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, we had 6 bids turned in for the project, and Young Contracting was the apparent low bidder, and they were low enough within the budget that we have for CDBG that I don't want to speak out of turn, but hopefully as the project goes on, we will be able to do a few more areas to use up more funding. So we have like, $258,600 in our construction budget, and you can see on the letter from Cowan Group, the bid for Young Contracting at $178,600. So they were pretty low, which we like. They have all the proper paperwork turned in. I've worked with them before on other projects. They're a very good company to work with.
Hey Wes, it's on the notice of contract award.
Huh?
Notice of contract award.
Yeah, I couldn't find it. You know what I was looking at?
This one?
Yes. Yeah, it's inside there.
Oh, there it is. I seen it earlier on my phone, I had to really zoom in.
Yeah, to have it on one piece of paper, it's really tiny. You guys have any questions?
So who are they recommending?
Young
Yeah.
contracting,
Young?
yes. So Young Contracting, at $178,605.75.
What, 178 what?
178,605.75. And that is below our construction budget, which is great.
I move that we award the apparent low bidder Young Contracting, the CDBG project number 17767-19 and authorize the mayor to sign the notice
I'll second
of
that.
award, I'm sorry.
Yep, that's the board, good job.
Roll call, please.
Keith,
Yes.
Cliff,
Yes.
Bert,
Yes.
Wes,
Yes.
Richard.
Yes.
So this, we're ready to take action then?
We have to, after we get this part done, they have a couple weeks to get their bid bonds, their maintenance and all that stuff in order, then we do a pre-construction conference and, yep, so over within the next month, they should be able to start. Yes, sir.
Thank you. Good work. Way too much paperwork.
I know, I'm so sorry.
That was E,
We
right?
just
Oh,
want,
my
we
God.
just want you
That
to
was
be
D.
informed.
And we still need to do E?
I'll put it
Yeah.
in your raise, how's that?
Talk about giving my boss's cell number.
Yeah, well, that's the private sector is pretty good about generating
I'll do
paperwork.
that.
Yeah.
Okay, E.
Okay, discussion and action to authorize the mayor to sign the grantee debarment review form for CDBG project 17767-19.
So all this paperwork is, as you know, as a town, you have to be registered in sam.gov to get federal funding, and CDBG is a federal grant, so any federal money that goes to anybody, they have to be registered, and that they're a company in good standing and don't have anything against them. So this is just our research that Young Contracting is registered in sam.gov and they're a company in good standing, so it's just signing that form.
Anybody got that?
I authorized for the mayor to sign the guarantee debarment review form for the CDBG project number 17767-19.
Second.
Roll call?
Cliff,
Yes.
Wes,
Yep.
Richard,
Yes.
Bert,
Yes.
Keith.
Yes.
This is the last one.
Tiffany?
Yes.
I don't know who to go to. I guess I got two people that like,
Yes, that's all
Tiffany will
right.
be relieved.
Thanks, sir.
You ever talk to something like it with her?
Yes. Okay, President. Okay.
That drainage, though, that was just like a phase deal, right?
Yes.
Yes.
Was there two phases to it or three?
Well, it
Do we
depends
know?
on, because the whole project was like 600 and some odd $1,000.
I'm with you.
So within the area that we did an environmental review, we did more streets than what was necessary. We just kind of blocked off an area and said we're going to target that for this project. So we can, with money, still having extra money in the contract to spend, we can do more of those other areas within that area.
I'm with you.
So we'll expand that, and then once we get done with that, we'll see how many more phases we'll have left to do.
And I want to say thank you very much for all the work that you have
I'm
done.
smiling, I know you can't see me, but
Really, really appreciate that, and thank you very much.
I am happy to be working with you guys. This is kind of our first go-around with NODA helping out a little bit more, and I am happy to be of service. I'll do anything I can for these ladies to help them and to make sure the paperwork gets where it needs to go. So, yeah, we'll keep you guys moving, hopefully in the money for a long time.
Good.
Great, thank
Sounds
you.
great.
Thank you, guys.
Okay.
Yes, I do.
Presentation of Town of Hennessey Municipal Code revisions being made to Title IX Building Regulations, Title 10 Zoning Regulations, and Title 11
Months ago.
Subdivision Regulations of the Town
grandson.
Code of Hennessey, Oklahoma,
He's the
Kingfisher
engineer on the
County.
grant, so he's
Thank
a-
you, Mayor. So we're going to, since you've got such a busy agenda tonight, we're going to try to keep this as brief as possible for you. And we were hoping to go ahead and have a resolution before, or I'm sorry, to have an ordinance before you tonight. But after working with the Planning Commission, we've gone through over a month public review of the ordinance, but we really haven't received a lot of public comment. We did have a few things that we need to fix after meeting with the Planning Commission, so we'll work on that. And then I'm planning on coming back and actually, I'm sorry, I have a hard time talking through this. Come back and I will meet again with Tiffany and go over that in detail. But we plan to be back before you in a month with all of those revisions. So if you haven't had a chance to go through that development code, please go through that, because we'll be back here in a month. We will do a hearing at Planning Commission, and then we'll be back before you to look for adoption. Also, when we come back, instead of doing this as one ordinance, we will do this as 2 ordinances. And we will also have a fee schedule resolution for you to look at that time. The fee schedule resolution will be to basically put into place all of the inspection permitting fees that you have. It's just putting it in a more formal document than what you've had in the past. The reason why we will be doing 2 ordinances is because under Title IX, under the new Title IX, we have all of your building regulations in there, but we've also added the floodplain regulations. So that's moving from Title 12 into Title IX. And then under Title, and we want to do that as a separate resolution, because building inspection, floodplain administration is really not the purview of the Planning Commission. It's really more if you have a Board of Appeals for building construction complaints or issues, and then floodplain administration obviously comes before your board if you have anything, since you don't have a floodplain board anymore. Then Chapter 10, Title 10, will actually be what is called the New Uniform Development Code. So it's taking the zoning ordinance, and it's taking the subdivision regulations, and it's pulling it together into one code. So it's in one place, easy for everybody to work with. And the Board of Adjustment information, the Planning Commission information falls under that. That is the purview of the Planning Commission. That always takes a 30-day, or state statutes implies a 30-day public review when you do any changes with that. That's why we've gone through this public process so far. So once again, if you haven't had a chance, and the public too, I know this is being recorded, go to the city's website, and Tiffany has a link there that will take you to an electronic copy. And there's also a hard copy that's here at City Hall, and another one that's available at the library that you can go and look through as well with it. So, so any questions? It's pretty important. So yes, sir.
What's the rationale for making all these changes? What are we going to gain?
Well, hopefully it will make an easier and clearer development process for you. And what we found working with your current development regulations is there are sections that really aren't there. For some reason, when your code was updated last time, it's like we've had to come in and rewrite residential zoning districts. We've had to do that with commercial zoning districts. And there's a lot that's been missing. Now, also in addition to that, with your building regulations, a lot of those were pointing towards the old uniform building code, which hasn't been used in Oklahoma for quite some time now. We're also adding a section related to oil and gas drilling, which you don't have in your code now, which is very important to have in your code, especially in the area of Oklahoma that you are at. So,
is it changing the various categories of zoning? You know, like there's various levels of residential, various
we actually have created some new zone districts within this new ordinance that, like we have created a downtown district now. And we've also created an overlay district. So in that downtown district, anything that's in the downtown area can come into that district, and that allows for mixed-use development. So you can have more than one use in a structure. So an example of, back when downtowns were built, You'd have businesses below, you may have an apartment up above or an office up above. Well, your current zoning district really doesn't allow for that anymore. So you've got to jump through a bunch of hoops to make a project like that happen. Now, with this new downtown mixed-use district, you'll have that ability to have mixed uses in one project. And all.
I think it'll be a benefit for us, Richard. I can remember looking at some of the building codes, and they were just so confusing. It really needs to be cleaned up. It really does.
I am all in favor of mixed use because it allows more flexibility.
They included it in our book.
Because I've counted, I think there's about 10 vacant buildings on our main street. And if we could bring in some other use on them.
That can help with that. Then in addition to that, we've created a district, a mixed-use overlay district, which could be applied in different areas. Now understand, you'll be going through a process in the very near future to update your comprehensive plan. That's very important because those work together and all with that. So
when you're talking mixed use, you could have, theoretically, you could have a building that would have commercial space, second office space, and third residential
that's
space.
correct.
You could have all three things in one building.
You could. You could. Or in one development project, yes.
Could you have three buildings side by side, one residential, one commercial, and one retail?
You could. That is mixed use as well. A lot of people think it's all in one, but no, it's also side by side.
Well, that's a blessing to this town.
Yeah, I think that will help to bring you, especially when you get your comprehensive plan done. Like I said, they're very important to work together. And all, that will help you out a lot. I'm going to say something to you because I do CDBG grant administration. And I'm going to tell you, the grant writer that you have here with NODA, she's one of the best in the state. So, and any training I'm with her, she's on top of everything. So I think you're in very good shape with her.
To follow up on your comment, I think I attended a grant workshop sponsored by the Oklahoma Municipal League. And the point about over a year ago, and the point they stressed is the grant people are there to help you.
That's right.
Some people are just intimidated
about
going for a grant, but the grant people, and I know they gave one example at that workshop where a town got a grant for water meters, but the grant people with the Oklahoma government had them rewrite the grant to have another company install it. They were afraid the small town was so small they couldn't get the water meters installed. They were there to help.
To help do it. And NODA works really hard at that. I know all of us do. But I'll tell you that the Department of Commerce does a lot of training for all of us that are certified. And, I'm always amazed at all of the detailed questions that she's asking and all when we go to that. Unfortunately, they've got a training next week. I won't be able to attend, but they do a very good job with it. So.
And who are you with?
I'm actually with IBTS. So we are a nonprofit organization. Our headquarters are Ashburn, Virginia, but we actually help you with your building inspection and your planning. So when Tiffany has a planning project come in, she'll get in touch with me. I'll work with the applicants and then come before your planning commission and before your group as well. It's been a little while since we've had a zoning project. And all, but we do a lot of that. And actually, I guess now I'm your floodplain administrator as well. So
yes.
Are you a 501c or
we're a 501c3. We are. Yes.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, you bet. You can. So we do not have an Oklahoma office, so most of us work out at the Kansas City at this time. So, but thank you.
Thank you very much. Sure appreciate that. Thank you.
Thank you. I would like certainly to encourage the board to try to review that before the next meeting, but also the public. If you all in the media could help us get something out to encourage the public to come by, because this is long-range planning for our community, and I feel like that we need their input on it. Okay. Discussion with possible action to approve ordinance.
That's with that.
Okay, we're going to do that next month.
Yeah,
so we'll see in a month.
Okay.
Okay. Item H, discussion with possible action to accept donation of old horse-drawn Sinclair gas delivery fuel wagon from an undisclosed donor. Richard?
So there's a picture of the wagon is in here somewhere.
So we will not take action on this until we get it done.
Correct.
Save that card for next
Yeah.
month. Yeah.
The family.
You got a card?
Sorry.
I saw it a while ago.
Put it in there.
Okay.
The family's offered to donate it, however, they want to take a tax deduction, which is quite reasonable. I told them that it would have to be officially accepted, and secondly, they would have to get an official appraisal on it. They couldn't have an antique dealer appraise it, or even a director of a museum. It has to be a certified appraiser. I talked to the museum up in Enid, and they concurred on that. We could just store it in the old Sinclair gas station. I think that's probably where it would probably permanently stay, but it's a free gift. Moving it's going to be a problem because the thing is pretty,
Looks like the tires are flat.
it's kind of rotten.
What?
It's hard to see in this picture, but on the top picture, that sideboard, that wooden sideboard has Sinclair in it. I think.
Oh, yeah, you can see it.
Yeah. That oil tank has probably got updated in the process. It may or may not have been the original oil tank on there. But Sinclair didn't adopt the dinosaur until about 1930. So somebody came back in there and put the dinosaur on there and went to the red-green colors on it. But still, it's quite something. I think it has to be raised very gently and put on a sled, build a sled underneath it, and then winch it on a trailer and move it to the Sinclair station.
What, are they wanting the town to pay for the appraisal?
No, I told them they had to pay.
They had to pay for the appraisal?
They get the tax deduction, so they have to pay for the appraisal. I told them there's no money from the town.
But the town would have to be responsible for getting it on a sled or some kind of device to move it?
Bert, I take over that responsibility.
I'm sorry, what?
To move it,
Who's going to be responsible for that?
I'll take care of
The
that.
seller or the?
Richard said you take care. I was just wondering, because he said it was gonna have to have a sled built.
Where's this at, Rich?
It's out there, you know, I had not been hiding the family name, but I see it says.
Is it in Kingfisher? I mean, it's in, around this area?
Yeah, it's
Okay.
out by the water well. But it's been sitting there so long, I think it's sunk in the dirt, so I think it has to be gently raised and then take some 2x12s or something and build a sled underneath it and winch it onto a trailer to move it. It needs to be gotten out of the weather because the wood is deteriorating. It's quite deteriorated. I'm kind of afraid this thing might fall apart.
So Richard, on the front of that, what's that picture, the round circle? It doesn't look like the dinosaur. Did they have another emblem that they used prior to the dinosaur?
Yeah, I see what you mean. I don't know what that is. I couldn't tell you.
We just accept it.
Looks like a shark.
We just accept it.
Doesn't look like a shark to you? Looks like a shark to me.
You know, they didn't have trucks in the old days and they used horse-drawn wagons. It's kind of unusual. You're selling gas to run cars and automobiles, but you're using horses to deliver gas. But that's what they did because trucks were a new concept. All the trucks were new and therefore very expensive.
You've got to be kidding me.
This picture's taken at the Conoco station in Ponca City, and they have two of these wagons on display.
Turning it down?
Yeah, thank you.
But there's holes.
Yeah,
Oh,
No, I'm
Stephanie
sweating,
too,
I'm
is it
sweating
not for
over
you?
here.
I told her I was sweating too.
Are you kidding me?
You have to start bringing a jacket.
Oh, they gonna get you some mud off. This is terrible.
Oh, my God.
Me too?
Jack, are we live?
I wonder if he knows what the-
I know, right?
Can you edit that part?
I'm just teasing, Katie.
Look, you embarrassed her. She.
I think I did. Embarrassed myself.
I think he's a little redder than me.
Oh, that looks nothing like that.
I know, right?
Well, Richard, I'll be devil's advocate here for a minute. I mean, I know this is for preservation and a museum type thing, but I'm wondering where we're gonna put it, I mean, I know you're talking about allowing it to be in the station building that you own. And, I mean, I guess what I'm saying is tell me what benefit the town will get from having that, where it will be viewed or whatever.
Well, this is a historical piece, just like at the Conoco station. I guess I'd have to go read the website at the Conoco station, say why they
Well,
got.
no, and I understand that, but I guess what I'm asking is, how's the public gonna see it? How are we gonna get where the public can view it and things like that?
Well,
I understand its significance.
I'm giving the Sinclair station to the town. And I set up an endowment for that Sinclair station to also be a visitor center. And it would be the John C. Carter Museum. He invented the seismograph,
Right, yeah,
of which most of the world's oil.
right.
So I think this would be fit right into that.
So would we fix it up to make it back to like what it looked like when it was new?
I'd leave
Or
it just like
leave it
it
as
is.
is?
I'd just leave it like it is. The top picture didn't come out as clear as it could, but you can make out SINC is very clear, you can see it. AIR is sort of rotted away, it's there, but you have to be close up to it. So, just leave it like it is, that's what I would do.
No.
I'm not sure what we're asking, what you're asking. You're wanting approval just to get this? I mean, I'm not sure what you're after.
Well, I talked to Bert about it, and Bert said he'd like to bring it before the town council. And I think for them to get their tax deduction, that would help to justify it to IRS. Because they're gonna have to give it to the town. I told them, you can't give it to me. They say, we're gonna give this to you.
Oh,
And I
that's
said,
what
no,
that is.
you can't give it to me because I can't give you the
That's
tax
a horse.
deduction. It's gotta be either to the library, the
What it used to
501c,
be.
or to the town. Either one will
The
get you the
Texaco
tax
horse?
deduction.
I betcha.
I was under the assumption that they would want the town to pay for the appraisal.
No,
But that's not the case. Okay.
I told them the town has no money, that we're tight.
Can we see if it's worth anything? I don't know. Maybe.
I mean, we're not,
I'll tell you that
ultimately, we're not
after the
gonna be out
election.
anything if we do it.
Right.
It's
It's
just
a new deal. This thing
Richard said he's
gonna
gonna take
work.
care of the transportation, and that's gonna go to his building.
Tiffany, you'd be surprised what that stuff can be worth. A restored gas pump, a restored gas pump can go between $3,000 and $6,000.
Yeah, I thought we were gonna be out some expensive.
Because I mean,
You know what I mean?
and I'm young. I don't know any of this stuff. I'm not that young
If it
anymore.
was an
But
old car, I'd be all over it. I promise you.
well, I'm not about cars either. But we know that. But to me, and I'm not an artifact person, I don't know a lot about artifacts or anything, but just a human eye looking at this, looks like this is an old wagon, which, the wagon to me looks like it might be, you know, something, but that has an old gas can stuck on it, like, but to me, it's not a Sinclair gas fuel wagon. You see what I'm saying?
Well,
You're
but the wagon, but the wagon says
absolutely
Sinclair.
correct.
Am I right about that?
You are absolutely correct. You are absolutely correct. And the gentleman at that time probably couldn't afford something like this.
Uh-huh.
So when they opened their gas station, you can't ask the farmer to drive their tractor into town to the pump and fill up and go back out and start plowing again. You had to get that gas out to the farm. So this was probably done so they could do that.
This was back before co-op was cool.
Well, like both of my grandfathers had an overhead tank on the farm, and they drive their tractor or whatever there to fill that.
Yeah.
Yeah, but who brought the
And
fuel?
one of
for
my
that tank?
grandfathers was early on at the Conoco station, and he had a very similar tank, only it was on a Model T truck.
Okay.
And my mother said she used to ride on top of that tank going around and filling. And Richard, I'll be honest with you, when I first saw it, I thought it was just a wagon that somebody set a tank on, and it probably wasn't original.
That's true.
But
It's
now that I can see that it says Sinclair into the wagon, into the wood, it probably is original. But
it's a homemade gas delivery wagon.
Oh, I see that.
And I have never seen anything like that. I go to the Conoco station, museum, I can see two of these.
I've never seen anything like that either.
Huh. Oh, and that little figure on the front, it's that pony of Texaco, I think. The Texaco symbol? The Texaco.
On the Sinclair?
I think so.
Well, and it may have been
It looks like a shark to me.
A shark.
I don't know. When did Sinclair start, Richard, do you know?
I don't know, but I know in 1930 they adopted the dinosaur, and
Right.
that's why they went to the green color. So somebody's gerrymandered to cut paint on this tank.
I will tell you one thing though, up here at the corner, there's a dinosaur up there, and you wouldn't believe how many people climb on that and take a
Looks like
picture.
it's backwards though.
There's probably somebody
Because there's-
every single day climbing on that dinosaur and taking pictures.
Like it looks like this needs to be.
So,
They can't climb on this wagon, it'll fall to pieces.
well, I know, but people do stop and look at things that you do put there. So it would be an attraction, and there's no cost to the town.
Can you not Google the Texaco?
That's the thing, two things, there's no cost to the town, and secondly, this thing's gonna rot and fall down if we don't get it out of the weathering. Yeah, they just gerrymandered that, they took a regular old wagon that they were hauling feed and hay in and put a seat on it, put the tank on the back, and off they went. And I think that's what makes it unusual. I'd say, hey, go to Conoco, you can see this kind of wagon everywhere, but this is unusual. It's a homemade wagon.
Do you know
See,
if it's
old
been around
Texaco
here for
Sinclair flying horse.
many
Texaco and
years?
Sinclair, they used to be together, I wonder.
Did they?
Yes.
I don't know the story.
Yeah, just curious.
But there
I'll
was a
find
flying
out.
horse.
Huh?
I think it was a flying horse was the
Yes.
logo.
Yeah.
Sinclair is the Holdings
yeah,
family,
flying
owns
horse.
that, so.
See the old Texaco Sinclair flying horse.
Oh, that's what it is. I bet you.
And it looks like it's backwards on there though. but-
Yeah.
I think if Richard's interested in pursuing it, and you want to deal with it, I don't have an issue with it. I don't know that we want to spend taxpayer money on it right now. now, you know what I'm saying?
I made that assumption from the beginning.
And I want to see you write it in the next parade.
You know, I was gonna say, there's a couple of people around Hennessey that if you wanted that restored, you know, they're pretty much wagon experts and probably could restore that and get it looking.
I know, I'm kind of like Richard, I think you better leave it alone.
Yeah.
Well, I mean,
This thing is fragile.
yeah,
I'll talk to Fred.
right?
Yeah.
You need a motion?
Somebody needs to make a motion.
Okay, I'm gonna move that, the town accept the donation of the old horse-drawn Sinclair gas delivery fuel wagon, from an undisclosed donor.
I'll second.
Roll call.
Wes,
Yes.
Keith,
Yes.
Richard,
Yes.
Bert,
Yes.
Cliff.
Yes.
Okay, we're almost done with page 1, people. Discuss with possible action to approve resolution 2020-08, amending the 2016 capital improvement plan.
In order to, we want to apply, which is the next item for the REAP grant. But it has to be on our CIP plan. One of the lines that we want to do was on there, but it was listed as a desirable item, which is the water line along Cimarron Street from 5th to 7th Street.
Oh, that's been terrible,
Yes.
being that I drive that every day and see the water leaks that just pop
So,
up right now.
we want to replace that one. It is an 1.25 inch line, black poly line. It's given us probably about 6 leaks in the past 10 months. Also we want to go from an 1.25 inch line to a 6-inch line, because that 1.25 inch line feeds about 9 homes. So we want to go
I do not see
to,
how that's even possible.
Where's that at? Over here on Bonita?
No, this is the one over on Cimarron.
South Cimarron.
By where Mr. Canarian lives, David Macy,
Yeah.
Joanna Goff,
Are you serious? Is
Yes.
that small?
yes.
Yes.
the people that.
I don't know how
stop.
people on one end of the block taking a shower
I think it's
don't
same-
run out
I
of
think
water
the same
when other people
situation
flush
over
the
here, too.
toilet.
And
It's,
then on 6th and Bonita,
Oh, that's one I'm
yes,
thinking of.
6th and Bonita, that corner to the alley, which is a half block, and then the alley to 7th Street. That is another 1.25 inch line.
Well,
That we've had about the same amount of leaks on. And that is an 1.25 inch, and so we wanna go to a 6-inch line on that also. But the one on Cimarron, there is not a line that goes from 6th to 7th. So we wanna lay the line all the way to 7th, so if the Baptist church owns that land, they bought the
on east
land.
side there.
So if they decide to ever build there, or if new homes decide to go in there, or whatever, we will be prepared with a line. Plus, we're gonna go on to, all these lines are gonna cross over to 7th Street, on the south side of 7th Street, and tie in so they won't dead end.
so they're looped, and
Yes.
That'll be
we'll
good.
also get the benefit of putting a fire hydrant at Cimarron and 6th.
Yeah.
And we will replace a really poor fire hydrant over on Bonita and 6th that really needs to be replaced bad. So
Yes. So,
that will upgrade our.
I know
fire
that one
protection.
over there has given us fits before. I wasn't aware of that.
Yes.
No, it's, Wes, it's
That's
been.
amazing. I can't believe they haven't been raising hell.
yeah,
Well,
So-
maybe they have.
but anyway,
I'll make a motion to approve action resolution 2020-08, amending the 2016 capital improvement plan. Chip.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Cliff,
Yes.
Keith,
Yes.
Bert,
Yes.
Wes,
Yep.
Richard.
Okay, next, discussion with possible action to approve the 2021 NODA REAP applications to apply for replacement of water lines. How's that different from what we just did?
That's the
Well,
same deal.
Yeah, it is. I mean, that, we had to put it on our capital improvement plan, so we had a
Okay.
resolution. But now this is an actual resolution.
We need another motion, correct?
Well, this is actually the application so that you can sign the application.
Okay,
The application is for well, the town will put in, it's for $130,196.67. So the town would put in half of that.
Now, Tiffany, so we're all aware, it's $135,000, it was broken down in two $65,000 parts. $65,000 from REAP. That $65,000 that Hennessey's taken in the pot, is any of that in-kind contribution, or is it all cash, or?
It would all be cash.
All cash?
So.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna use this to make a point.
Okay.
I'm gonna brag on it. This is that point scoring system that they use for REAP. And what Tiffany has done is jacked up the points. So hopefully we could get our application approved. Well, she did, she jacked it up. Okay, all right, we needed that. I don't know what other adjective to use right now. Since they gave me this, I don't know how I'm giving it back. But we're gonna get docked because we got a REAP grant last year. So let's go through this. Project prioritizing, item A, 40 points because it's an infrastructure improvement. Population, 14 points. Part B. Part C, requested grant amounts. So we're going, Tiffany's putting it in for $65,000, so we're going to get docked 4 points. Item D, local contribution. Tiffany jacked it up, Barbara. We'll get all the 25 points. And it, also Tiffany has amended the CIP, that's another 10 points. So that gives us 35 points that maybe we wouldn't have if Tiffany had not made those changes. Item E, did not receive a REAP grant last year. Well, we did, so we get docked 15 points. Prior project completed in a timely manner, it was. It will. So we get 10 points.
Oh.
So if you kind of understand that, you kind of, all these other grants that are floating around there, they don't have such a scoring sheet, but they kind of follow that philosophy.
okay.
That's the end of it.
Do we have a motion?
I do. I'm gonna move to approve the 2021 NODA REAP application to apply for replacement of water lines.
I'll second that.
Roll call, please.
Wes,
Yes.
Cliff,
Yes.
Keith,
Yes.
Bert,
Yes.
Richard.
Yes.
Okay, discussion with possible action to approve resolution 2020-09, authorizing application for financial assistance from the Rural Economic Action Plan, or REAP fund.
This is the actual resolution that goes in with the application.
Okay,
I make a motion to approve the resolution number 2020-9, authorizing the application for financial assistance from the Rural Economic Action Plan, or REAP fund.
Second.
Roll call.
Cliff,
Yes.
Wes,
Yes.
Keith,
Yes.
Bert,
yes.
Richard.
Yes.
Okay. Discussion with possible action to approve a request from Hennessey First Baptist Church to block off the 100 block of East First Street, right out here, on Wednesday nights for youth activities. They came in and asked about doing that, and they had something going on that they wanted to block it off for, and I told Tiffany, let's go ahead and allow them to do that for that one time, and then we put it on the agenda to bring before the board. maybe it's been more than one time.
Yeah, we did it for the past month, but.
Oh,
We
but
didn't
you
do it the
said-
last time,
Oh, okay.
but, because we lost half of our.
Yeah, I think they didn't realize that you still needed them, but then kids were running across there and not watching,
Yeah,
so.
Yeah.
and it's hard, I'm the crossing guard for that.
Well, you not doing your job, or?
It's hard, they come blazing out of one building and it's like, hey, we try to make them use a crosswalk, and I try to stand out in the.
I've
the
actually
street
seen
to-
them do that.
So, but we,
Get
2 hours,
them
2 hours, we really don't need it for 2 hours. What we want is to block it off long enough to have the parents drop the kids off on the west side of the building. And we have a screening process where the kids get their temperature taken. We check them in electronically. That way we have a record of who was around if somebody were to get sick. And then from there, then they cross the street and they go and have a meal. But once they're done eating, they cross the street one more time, and then everything is done over in the brick church. And then, so really it's for about an hour. And then we take the barricades down and allow parents to drive through it and pick up their kids whenever they come and whenever the church is over. So
I'll tell you
there's
what,
not a lot of traffic.
Anything to help promote youth to be in good places, I'm in favor of.
And the safety.
And the safety, yeah, for sure.
You want to write that?
Yeah, thank you.
Speaking of youth and the safety while he's running a motion, I will let you know that I kind of didn't bring before the board, but the school, in the mornings, their lines dropping kids off in the mornings were getting long, kind of like after school when they requested that it be a one-way street in the afternoons. So Aaron, who is the SRR school resource officer down there, he requested that we go one way in the mornings to drop off because a kid almost got hit on a bicycle. Because cars were lined up and cars, coming back and, coming towards them and didn't see the kid on the bike. So we immediately.
It's probably confusing too to some of them kids, they're thinking it's one way.
So we immediately changed it to a one-way just for the safety of the kids. So just so you're aware of what we did because of the safety of the kids.
What are you talking about?
Huh?
Which street is it?
Iowa.
From
Isn't
one
that where
to
they have
Mitchell.
It's one way in the afternoons,
Oh.
but now it's one way in the mornings
Okay.
also.
Okay.
So.
All right. I move that we allow the First Baptist Church to block off the 100 block of East First Street on Wednesday nights for youth activities.
And I will second that.
Roll call?
Keith,
Yes.
Cliff,
Yes.
Bert,
Yes.
Wes,
Yes.
Richard.
Tiffany, would it be okay, like Monday through Friday, make it from school hours, from
No.
8 o'clock?
There's
to-
residents that live down that street.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah,
So.
there's two.
Yeah. So it's working out good.
Okay.
So.
All right. Discussion with possible action to purchase a new police car. Hey, could we just use that wagon?
There you go.
You gotta buy me a couple of horses.
In your packet, you have a quote from Dana Safety Supply. And then you also have the actual, options. Yeah, window sticker. And then I'm gonna turn it over to Ed to, and this car was budgeted, it is in the budget, it would be paid out of the special, restricted emergency money, so, there's plenty of money in there, so, but then I'm gonna turn the rest over to Ed.
Right now, one of the benefits that I wanted to offer to the officers, even if they don't get a take-home car, is that they get an assigned vehicle at least. Plus, that would give me, this vehicle would give me a assigned vehicle for every single officer. That will help keep the miles down on all the vehicles, because right now, the 2015 we have, and the 2016, they're starting to get a lot of miles on them. I think the 2015 is up over 80,000 miles now. That was my purpose behind wanting to get another vehicle. When I started looking at vehicles, I started looking around to see what we could get, because the Explorers, the Ford Explorers that we're using right now tend to get a lower gas mileage. So I was actually looking to change. I couldn't find much else with better gas mileage until I started looking at this Ford SUV. This Ford SUV is a hybrid model. It's like a Toyota Prius. It has a battery. Most of the gas we burn is when we're sitting still, when we're idling. We burn about 60% of the gas in idling, either in, for special functions, sitting in parking lots doing paperwork and things like that. Most of our gas burned is idle. There's no way around that, to keep the officers out on the street and not driving constantly. So with this one, this vehicle, right now we're getting about 13 miles per gallon with the Ford Explorers. This Ford Explorer gets approximately 24 miles per gallon because of the simple fact that once this car stops, it goes into battery mode. When it's idling, it's burning battery. It's not, the car turns off, basically. It goes to straight battery. This is a cost savings of right around, with this vehicle, I'm looking at a cost savings, if I budgeted it, if I'm looking at it correctly with our gas mileage, when I pulled a lot of the mileages off the cars and stuff, we're looking at a savings of about $3,400 a year in gas savings with this vehicle. And it's a lot lower emissions being taken out of the vehicle also.
I think too, Ed, won't it run on the hybrid battery cruising at lower speeds?
At lower speeds, it also goes to the battery.
Instead of gas
shifts.
engine.
Yes.
Yeah.
That battery has an 8-year warranty, and that will last the life of the vehicle. And we're looking at, it's got the standard 3-year, 36,000 mile warranty, drivetrain 50,100 miles. So it's pretty equivalent, and they said that the battery they'll guarantee it full 100% for 8 years.
Even it's being a police vehicle.
Yes, it's made that way. Ford makes, this is, if you look at the window decal, it doesn't say Ford Explorer, it says Ford Police Interceptor.
Right.
And it comes with, it also, the new Fords, the 2020 Fords are coming with also the spotlight already installed, the interior lights installed. It's got some of the wig-wag lights on the tail lights and the headlights. So it's got a lot of equipment in it. We also looked at the fact that off of the state bid, this vehicle, when I contacted Dana Safety, they said they could get this vehicle for $36,000. I wasn't sure about the price on that, so at Tiffany's request, we started looking at the state bid prices for Oklahoma. The cheapest one I could find here on the state bid price is over $37,000. So we're getting a deal on this vehicle also. And the equipment he gave me, I told him I needed to save money. I begged and pleaded a little bit with the guy from Dana Safety, and we got all the equipment for under $10,000, I think it is. And that includes radar.
Yeah.
Are we gonna eliminate another vehicle, or are we just gonna add this to the
No,
fleet?
we're gonna add this one. What I'm gonna do is every officer will have an assigned vehicle, which will keep the miles down on all the cars we have now. Because the 2016 doesn't have real bad miles, it's in the 50s. I think 54,000 miles in there somewhere. The one I'm looking at is that 53, it's getting a lot of miles on it, so I wanna keep it off the road a little bit, but I also need a vehicle for the reserves to drive when they come in on the weekends, because right now I've got reserves covering every weekend, Saturday and Sunday. So they would be assigned that vehicle, but we would still save miles on it, because that vehicle is being driven almost 24 hours a day right now.
And how fast will this car go if you have to chase somebody down?
Top speed on that hybrid motor is 313 horsepower, 137 miles an hour.
Well,
That's not bad.
That's
not bad at
what
all.
we're driving now.
That's not bad at all. And it's also a 10-speed transmission.
Ed, is there any federal or state subsidies for going with hybrid?
I don't think there is right now, now with going with hybrid. Those are usually for straight electric vehicles most of the time. But I'm not sure. I would lie to you if I would tell you,
Hey,
I haven't
my daughter
checked,
has an
but I can
insight.
check.
She
Yeah,
gets
it's worth,
42
yeah,
miles
the worst they can
gallon
tell me is
on
no,
that.
the IRS. I like an IRS, let me know.
She's got a certain,
We can start.
120,000 miles on it?
Got 233.
You got 233? Yeah. Wow.
Yeah.
This vehicle, I think, is a lot, and basically what I wanted to do was try this vehicle at least for 1 year. If it doesn't work out, we go back to a gas motor. But I think if this thing works out, I think we can possibly be getting a lot better gas mileage over the future cars we buy.
So you don't have any concerns about sitting there for, say, an hour with the running off of the battery until you had a call or you was at a stop or something?
I don't have any concerns. They say that battery will last on a charge. And what it does is, if you're sitting there, this car doesn't run off the battery. What it does is, if the battery starts to die, it switches back to the gas motor, and the gas motor charges the battery again. So this vehicle isn't plugged in or anything like that. It's just like raised where it switches back and forth between them.
Right.
At lower speeds, at idle and lower speeds, it operates off of that battery
Like
until the battery starts to die, then it switches over to the gas motor and starts charging the battery again. He bragged on this vehicle pretty good. And that's his job. I know he's a salesman. But, I checked, there's several larger, he told me there were several larger police departments, I checked into it. Like Little Rock Police Department and a couple other larger agencies are switching to these.
It makes sense to me.
It does, yeah.
Almost doubling our gas mileage.
Yeah, I'm anxious for you to try it.
Because
I'm sitting here thinking, you said the battery, it's guaranteed 8 years. If we save $3,000 for 8 years, that's $24,000. We save, that's half the price of another car.
Just think if you had a
If
fleet.
you got a fleet of them, you save that much more.
Yeah.
And I also, with this vehicle, I also am looking at changing the color scheme of the vehicles. Maybe that's a little bit selfish of me, but I want it to be my.
Red and white.
I want it to be my police department now.
Red and white?
No, orange, red and white.
It better not have orange on it.
Orange and black.
We don't want orange.
Orange and black.
Red and white.
Red, white, crimson, and white.
No. Orange on one side, crimson on the other.
But I am with getting with Bert and stuff like that, I am looking at changing the scheme on the vehicle. It's gonna be a little more, it's just gonna say police on the side with Hennessey and just our badge is gonna be on it with a couple of stripes, just down the side of the vehicle. That's what we're looking at. And those graphics are about $400 less than what we pay now for graphics.
Good.
They're about $195, I got a price quote, they're about $195 installed for the full graphics on the vehicle.
All the way around it?
All the way around it, $195
That is
Right now,
good
we're paying
price.
close to right around $650.
The car's white though.
Car's white.
Okay,
It'll still be white.
just the
And
decals.
little by little, I want to change the rest of the fleet
Gotcha.
to match.
Gotcha.
But that's another, I mean, I have to start looking at budget for that. I mean, we don't have the budget right now to do that. So maybe we can do it just little by little, because the problem is that it's $195 per car, but on the cars that already have the stripes, I have to remove those stripes.
Yeah.
That's more.
Do
That
it
costs
through
more.
attrition, yeah.
So, yeah, we just have to look at that.
Well, I move that we purchase a new police car as presented to the board. Do I need to put a price on that? What? Oh, so this is the $46,046 is the,
No, he said 32,000.
well,
No,
but
this
there's
is
equipment.
Oh, okay, excuse me.
Yeah. For the amount of $46,046.
A second. Roll call?
Keith,
Yes.
Bert,
Yes.
Cliff,
Yes.
Wes,
Yeah,
Richard.
Who seconded that?
Bert.
Where's this car coming from, Oklahoma City?
No, that car is in a dealership in Little Rock, Arkansas right now.
Okay,
But like I said, the dealership there got two of them by mistake.
I see.
They ordered gas motors and they came in with two hybrids. So the dealership, that's why the dealership can give them to us at a little bit of a discount, because I think they got them at a little more of a discount. But because of that, we're beating the price, the state price here in Oklahoma.
So somebody will have to go over there and pick them up?
No, that $46,000 includes freight.
They'll deliver it here to Hennessey? That's a good deal.
Yep, includes freight. They'll deliver it right to our front door, fully equipped.
All right.
Great.
I guess, how long, once we purchase it, how long?
The car's already there, and the build-up shop is there in Little Rock also. He hasn't told me exactly how long, but I'm figuring maybe a month, month and a half.
That won't be bad at all.
Good.
It's all over.
Sounds like you've done a lot of research on it. I appreciate that. Okay, discussion with possible action to approve school resource officer contract with Hennessey Public Schools. This was,
I didn't read
this
the
is in our
contract.
packet.
Is that
It's the
next one?
same, no, it's the same contract that we had last year. It just kinda got,
The ball got dropped.
yeah. So, not Ed. I know the school board, I think, is going to approve it or Monday night, so, the only thing that got changed is they added, time and a half for overtime. So that's the only thing, and the dates, but everything else stayed the same.
I think things are working well, aren't they?
Yes.
I haven't heard any negative comments about that situation.
I can't tell you that there's not a day that doesn't go by that I don't get a compliment on Aaron Pitts. The school is very happy with him right now.
Great.
He's doing very well. He told me he's walking about 20,000 steps per day, so he's getting good exercise at his job, but he's doing a very good job walking around that school, and the teachers and the students love him. He teaches DARE, he's DARE certified, which is one of the requirements for us. I think he's doing a spectacular job.
Great.
I really do. And the contract, we just kept it the same, just for the simple fact that it was just easier to leave it just there for now. And
I never thought I would see the day that we needed an officer at Hennessey Schools full-time, but, you know, with things going on in the world the way they are, I rest easier knowing that he's out there, because I've got grandchildren out there.
well, it's protecting the future.
It
really
is.
You know, and something may never happen here, but it sure is better to have them there and not need them than to need them
Little piece of
and not
land.
have them.
Absolutely.
I'm gonna move then that we approve the school resource officer contract with the Hennessey Public School.
Second.
Roll call?
Wes,
Yes.
Keith,
Yes.
Cliff,
Yes.
Bert,
Yes.
Richard.
Yes.
Okay, discussion with possible action to renew property liability insurance with Oklahoma Municipal Assurance Group. I swear it feels like this comes up every 3 months.
No,
It does.
Yeah.
every October,
Golly, it's just, time
Well-
flies so quickly.
but we do like workers' comp in the spring, and
Yes.
so there's
Yes,
different
I have.
things. So, last year's for property, we paid 27,000. This year, we're paying 29,491, which is an increase of a little over $2,000, but the swimming pool property is 4,422. So if you look at the whole scheme of things, it's actually gone down for about $2,000. So the liability has gone down about $70.
Okay.
So,
You
and
mentioned the pool, I guess all of our pumps and equipment and all
we've
that's
winterized
insured for-
everything. Oh,
well,
yes.
But it's all covered for like
Yes.
lightning strikes and
Mm-hmm.
things that may burn out those high-dollar pumps.
Yes.
Okay, well, that's good. That's great.
I make a motion to approve the renewal of property liability insurance with Oklahoma Municipal Assurance Group.
Second.
Roll call?
Cliff,
Yes.
Wes,
Yes.
Keith,
Yes.
Bert,
Yes.
Richard.
Yes.
Before we get off the OMAG offers they have a recognition program where if the town board members participate in this recognition program, which is a one-day thing, where you go through this recognition class kind of thing, we can get a check for close to $3,000. And we can do this annually. So would you guys be interested in doing that for us?
Absolutely.
Sure, yes.
Yeah, we need to do that.
Absolutely.
Maybe.
What does that entail?
I need
What do we have to
$3,000.
do?
It's kind of like the class that you went to when you became a board member.
Okay.
That's what she said.
It's
wasn't
similar
it?
to that.
Sorry, Wes.
Oh,
OMAG,
that's a better way
it's
to
kind
do
of to
that.
help them with liability claims. So that in case you were to get, so that if the township gets sued for you guys doing your job wrong as board members.
But
So,
it's not only $3,000, but to benefit us from the lawsuit.
Correct.
As
Yes.
individuals.
yes. Yeah,
Well, that's a good deal.
so.
But the taxes in Oklahoma City?
No, they'll come here and conduct the class here.
Oh, wow.
Yes,
Yeah, we need to do that. We do need to do that.
yeah,
I'm in favor of that.
okay.
Absolutely. Okay, discussion with possible action to approve the purchase of police department handguns to be issued to full-time officers. We ain't even got to item R yet, and you're sure spending a lot of money.
A lot of money. I like it here. The guns. Guns wear out, guns break. Everybody right now is carrying their own gun, their own personally owned. I don't much, me personally, I don't much care for that. If one of the guns breaks, we have to replace it as a city, or as a town. We have to replace it, we have to give the money for that. Plus, right now, we have different calibers. Everybody's using, I'm using a 45, some of the other guys are using 40, 45, 9mm. I want to bring all the guns to where we own them. We own them, we take care of them. You know, if something breaks, we fix it. And also, I want to bring everybody to the same caliber. For the simple fact that that will lower my ammunition, my annual ammunition cost. Because it's the most common, it's the cheapest, and it will save me money.
What caliber are you going to?
9mm.
9mm.
9. That's
We're
good.
looking at the Glock 34, 9mm. So I'll bring everybody, and I'll still give the guys the option if they want to carry their own gun. But they have to understand that they pay for any repairs. If it breaks, if a firing pin goes out on it, they fix it. And if they want to carry something besides a 9mm, they'll have to supply their own ammunition, because we supply 9mm ammunition. I think this is a way for me to lower my ammunition costs by quite a bit. I'm sorry, I didn't know this was going to be on the agenda that fast, so I didn't actually do the cost savings, because normally I'm pretty, I like to be prepared coming in here and asking you for things, but I didn't. But I can tell you right now, I think it's going to be a significant cost.
Yeah, 9mm is much cheaper than.
And is it pretty common throughout police departments for police officers to carry their own guns?
That's not common. That's
I'm
not
having a
common.
little trouble with that. I
fact.
think it creates a liability situation.
I don't see it creating a liability, because most agencies do allow you to carry your own gun if you decide you want something different from what they issue. Like when I worked at Bethany, when I was at the Bethany Police Department, they bought us Glock 21s, 45 caliber.
Yeah,
If you wanted to carry something different, like a 1911, you could. It had to be a reputable gun, and you got training in that gun, so that defeats the liability of it. So it's not really much of a liability issue, except for if that gun breaks, we have to fix it. You know, if it breaks, while they're doing their work for us. So I would much rather bring it to where we own the gun, and where I keep, track of what serial number they're carrying, and just
Maintenance.
It's maintenance. Yeah. It's just better all around for me to manage that gun. But that's what I would like to do. That's my.
I think it makes total sense.
I'm not familiar with the ins and outs of police work, but I'm more comfortable with what you're proposing.
I am also, by far.
I kind of see a liability issue in there without the department having their own guns.
Well, you still have reserves that are gonna have their own guns, because we're not gonna buy
reserves
guns for the
no,
reserves,
so
so there's, like, I own my own gun when I go work for Kingfisher County. That's a personally bought gun, but I know that if my gun breaks as a reserve, I'm gonna pay for the repairs on it, though.
The full-time guys, though, I
But
can't see telling them, if they broke it in the line of duty, I can't see telling them, no, we can't fix that for them.
No, I think it's different for full-time than
Yes.
it is for reserve, absolutely. But you're still gonna have guys that are gonna carry their own personally owned guns, Reserve.
Okay. The backhoe, is that the retention, the holster, is that what you're doing there? How are you gonna handle the holster?
I'm gonna have to find that in the budget to buy the holsters. So I'm gonna have to buy 5 holsters. I haven't priced that yet.
I didn't know if that's what the total cost was.
I didn't think this was gonna be on the
Flashlight.
agenda so fast, I'm sorry.
No, it's a flashlight?
But what I.
It's a
what I
flashlight
wanted
on
to-
the gun.
They have the flashlight,
I
yes,
see.
it comes with the rail mounted
I got
flashlight.
it. All right, I'm
In
with
case,
you.
somebody gets stuck working nights, or, I've covered, over the past few months, I've covered a lot of midnight shifts.
Mhm.
It's nicer to have the light. So that includes the light. Now, the holsters, what I told them was, when I started discussing this with the officers, I told them that I would allow them to pick their own holster. Because I want to be comfortable with whatever's on my belt. Whatever tool I have on my tool belt, I want to know how to use it well. Some of these guys are already used to a certain dual retention holster, triple retention holster, or whatever. So I told them that I would, make sure that, if they wanted to buy their own, or pick their own holster. Now, I'm not gonna go, if one guy picks a holster for $200 when I can get one for $80, I'm not gonna do that.
Right.
Because I'm gonna basically tell them, this is what I can get you a holster for, a good dual retention holster. If you go over that price, you might have to pay for it.
Yeah.
Because we buy them one thing, but I want them also to be comfortable with what they wear.
Well,
This gives me a way to get everything back into, we own everything. Like the rifles, I have enough rifles to issue everybody a rifle already. Shotguns, I do have to look at a price for shotguns, because all we're using right now for shotguns is those government ones that they issued us, and I don't like that program. These shotguns are falling apart on us, they're old. So I need to actually look here in the future, I've been begging for more money in the future, looking at, to also buy shotguns, and that will satisfy us weapon-wise for a while, for years to come, probably 8, 9, 10 years. And I'm also looking at the guns that we do have now, because we do have XD45s in the safe that were supposed to be issued to the officers. I don't know why they never went out. The Springfield XD45s. And I've got several other weapons in there that I'm looking to actually offset the price of like the shotguns. I'm looking to have those declare those surplus, and we sell them and recoup some of the money back off of those guns, and we can buy the shotguns off of that funds, off of those funds.
will they allow you to surplus them and then trade them? Trade them in? You don't allow that? I don't either.
I think that's
What,
what he was
trades?
just talking about.
Trade.
Huh?
Yeah.
No, with the guns, what
Yeah,
I'm looking to do is surplus them and actually put them out to bid.
Yeah.
And go off of the highest bidder, off of our surplus weapons. Go off the highest bidder, get that money, and whatever it is, we've got that to buy the shotguns, and if it's more money, we come out a little bit ahead.
Well,
We can also trade them in, I can look at trading them in. Like
well, I didn't know, I don't even know if the law will allow us to do that. I don't know.
So surplus them?
No, we can surplus them, but what
We
he's
can
saying
surplus them, I don't know about trading.
is trading.
It may be a deal we have to sell them, I don't
Have to
know.
take bids.
No, you can trade.
Can you?
You when we bought Glocks every 5 years at Bethany, and we would trade our old ones in. They would take them on trade. There's some kind, I don't know the ins and outs of the law, I can't tell you that, but there's some kind of loophole in it, yeah, that way you can trade them.
On this number, should I make it exactly that, or should I say not to exceed like $3,500?
That's the bid I got today.
That's the bid you got today, so that's.
Now, like I said, the holsters, I have not, we're gonna have to look at the budget and see how much I've got in certain places in the budget, to see if I can actually,
Would you plan on going anywhere else for bid, or is this what you like?
I'm sorry? For this one,
Yeah,
GT Distributors is a sole distributor for Glocks in the state of Oklahoma. I can't go out to bid on that.
I didn't know, I'm just asking.
Yeah.
You said that you didn't have really enough time, I didn't know if you were looking at other bids or not.
No, they are,
Did I not
they
change
are
yours?
the lowest.
That's the card.
Uh,
I know.
H&H does have a blue line, and Evans up in Enid, they have a blue line.
Yeah.
Where they can sell to law enforcement. And already Evans and H&H both told me that GT buys in such bulk that they can't beat their price. They both told me, there was a guy at the counter, but I know that's true when we went to shop before. So I can go to bid, I can, but.
No, I just didn't know if you was ready.
No, GT, I'm ready with GT,
Okay.
yeah.
All right, I move that we approve the purchase of police department handguns to be issued to full-time officers for the amount of $3,375.15.
Second. Roll call?
Keith,
Yes.
Bert,
Yes.
Wes,
Yes.
Richard,
Yes.
Cliff.
Yes.
I think I skipped one.
Executive session pursuant to 25 Oklahoma statute, section 307B1, to discuss the promotion of Ed Cangiano, salary increase for Matthew Bruner, police officer, and discuss hiring of reserve police officers in executive session.
I'm gonna move that we convene into executive session.
Second. Roll call?
Wes,
Yes.
Keith,
Yes.
Cliff,
Yes.
Bert,
Yes.
Richard.
Yes.
Okay.
Mayor, I'll move that we reconvene into regular session.
I second that. Roll call?
Wes,
Yes.
Bert,
Yes.
Keith,
Yes.
Richard,
Yes.
Cliff.
Yes.
Okay, discussion with possible action to promote Ed Cangiano to police chief.
I'll make a motion to promote Ed Conchi to police chief at $52,500. Did I say that incorrectly? I'm sorry if I did.
I think you left part of it off, but that's okay.
Liz, I've been married for 20 years, she still can't pronounce it. Don't worry.
I apologize.
I'm sure you're fine.
My last name is 4 letters, and it gets pronounced so bad. It's unbelievable. So, I feel for you, my friend, I apologize.
No worries.
I second that.
Sorry, I'm not paying attention.
Roll call?
Cliff,
Yes.
Bert,
Yes.
Keith,
Yes.
Wes,
Yes.
Richard.
Yes.
Okay?
Congratulations, Ed.
Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you so much.
Yay.
We're excited.
All right, discussion with possible action to increase the salary of Matthew Bruner, police officer.
I move that we raise the hourly wage of police officer Matthew Bruner to $16.25 an hour.
Second.
Roll call?
Keith,
Yes.
Wes,
Yes.
Cliff,
Yes.
Bert,
Yes.
Richard.
Yes.
Okay, item T, discussion with possible action to hire reserve police officers.
Oh, I thought that was you.
I said you were gonna get that, Wes.
I make a motion to hire David
All
Lacey
right.
at $13 an hour for reserve officer.
I'm sorry, who?
David
Lacey.
Oh,
I'll second
Roll call?
Cliff,
Yes.
Wes,
it. Yes.
Keith,
Yes.
Bert,
Yes.
Richard.
Yes.
Okay, item U is accept or reject any resignations not received prior to posting the agenda. You better not.
Just say, I'm not gonna do it.
I don't think we have any new business. Citizens' comments. Councilperson reports. I noticed they got our corner fixed up here by the park.
Yeah,
Looks
that's
amazing.
It looks really good.
I
want to say I talked to Brian, and I may be wrong here, Tiff, but the alley there, where behind the wine shop, where they're putting Stacy's building together, Stacy Klein,
Yes.
he said that ONG, I think, went in there and dug our street up. Do you know if they did that?
I don't know who did.
That alley's been dug up, but I don't know who did it either.
I don't either. I'm thinking, it was mine that told me that the ONG done that, to run a gas line to that building. Might check with them and see if they're planning on finishing that. If not, we can finish it and ask them where we need to send the bill. Maybe they'll get them on the stick. Please, if they're done. I think they're done, but might check on it.
I had one of the engineers at Mustang Gas, he's on a board, but it's the MidCon GPA midstream. And I guess it's the energy producers, and they try to do community outreach in different communities where people are. Well, he reached out to me because he knew he was on the town council and wants us to apply for this grant. And what they have money that they try to give to towns for like community outreach. And they've had some bigger projects where they're able to get more money. This year their money's a little less, but they want us to put it. It's one of those things where we put in a little bit of money, and they would have like $5,000 for us. But I presented that to Tiffany, and she said that there was I don't know if I can.
Well, I haven't talked to Barb or
Okay.
anything about this yet, but I know Hennessey United and that group has that money for Pat Hennessey Park, right? So I thought about that $5,000 plus the Pat Hennessey Park money plus whatever the town could do could all go together for a playground equipment piece for Pat Hennessey Park. So also
bathrooms?
at Pat Hennessey Park.
Oh, Pat.
The one over on South.
Yeah.
You know that.
No, Memorial Park. Yeah. Oh, yeah.
You remember the school group had
Yes,
the money
4,000.
dedicated?
We got
Yes, $4,000. So anyway, today I looked on, and the playground people until October 30th, they have grant money where you pay and they match at 100% for playground equipment. So I went on there and applied to see if I can get this grant money if we use Hennessey United's money, we use the MidCon money, and we use our money to get a piece of playground equipment for Pat Hennessey Park. Cross our fingers, we'll see if we can get it.
With all that, we ought to be able to put in a Ferris wheel.
Well, looking at
You've never tried to buy any equipment.
No, I know.
That's right.
I understand.
I'm looking at a piece of
Horrendous.
equipment where you can have, I mean, it's pretty nice size. It can hold about 20 kids, 20, 30 kids. It's nice, kind of like what we have over by the swimming pool.
Yeah.
Yes. So, but to have that down at
What,
Pat Hennessey
what
Park.
are we looking at there? What's something like that cost?
About $24,000.
It's really expensive. And what I'm thinking, if this playground equipment company that's got a grant, a matching,
Yes.
Anyway,
maybe, is there a limit on that?
No.
Okay. What I'm wondering is, we had a donor talk to us at one point about putting something over the Boy Scout Park.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe maybe that'd be a good time to pursue that. And
Yeah,
see.
I'd love to do something at that Boy Scout.
Well, I was kind of holding off until we hear something about the Thunder.
Yeah, I started to say
Because
We
we
got an app for
we
that.
applied for a Thunder grant.
We-
and
Oh.
so, and
They
they
had
said,
already, this was my understanding, we sent our app in and they had already awarded, but they went ahead and resubmitted ours for the
Yeah.
next round.
yeah, and so we're kind of waiting, I was waiting until we hear something about the Thunder Park for that, because it already has the basketball, so.
Right, yeah.
Kind of
That
waiting
might be
to see.
something we can
Okay.
get Tammy to make a call and see where we're at, just to put our name back in
So I
the
kind
Yeah.
of hate to do anything
Okay,
there until we hear on that.
I understand. I wasn't aware that that was out.
But
Yeah.
with this mid-con, since it's an outreach, I kind of emphasized on the basis of that, we do have maybe some like underprivileged kids over there and different things, so that maybe we can, it might boost us up a little bit.
whenever I
but-
talked to my guy, he seemed really excited about the idea of that.
Awesome.
So, and they don't have anything to do over there.
There's those new
Yeah,
houses
there
going
is
over there
nothing.
too.
Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah,
and the
that's
new
what
house.
Really
That
pretty
side
nice
of it.
house.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but there is a lot of
That
kids
was
over
one of the
there that-
reasons that the kids wanted to do it, because there were so many children who lived in that area, and they would have to practically cross the
Across
state
the highway. Yes.
Yeah, to do anything.
yeah.
To get. to
And the
park.
equipment that's there is not really safe, and so
Right.
that's some of the stuff that I,
So this just kind of fell in my lap last week. And so,
Yeah,
Oh, no, that's awesome.
we'd love to, yeah.
and I had one other thing. I had put together, whenever Hank had done his resignation, he kind of, there was some stuff in there I didn't really care for that he said about, how we pay and stuff. And I put together a deal that kind of shows where Hennessy's at. I got all these numbers came from
OML.
OML, And we're to the, I guess tonight.
You can give it to, yeah. No, they're public record numbers, so, I mean,
Anyway, I
you
just
hand
gotta
it out,
put
you have to
together
give it
some
to them.
numbers that I can find on there that kind of shows where Hennessey ranks around with towns. It's close to its same size. I kind of went above and below, and there's some unknowns. You don't know what numbers they used or why they used the numbers that they use. You hope that it's accurate. Whenever Tiffany's done all these, Hennessey wasn't on this last one, but I used the information kind of that I knew. But it kind of shows where we stand with other towns. Anyway, I thought it was interesting.
It is
going through it. But this is what it prints out. This is just the small towns. That's not even if you did the larger towns, but it's just all different information. There's more information that I could have put, but I didn't have paper long enough. So, not really anything needs to be done with it. I just to hand it out.
It's good information. Thank you.
Yeah, Katie says there's nothing we do with it, but I think it's reassuring.
Yeah, oh no, I think
very
we're,
good.
yeah.
I told him when I get the next one, I'll send it to him and he can do that again. Actually, he volunteered.
Yeah.
It wouldn't.
Still Excel.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like 3 hours.
Any other council person reports?
I move with adjourn.
Second. Roll call.
Wes,
Yes.
Bert,
Yes.
Keith,
Yes.
All right. This will be a meeting of the Hennessey Utility Authority Board of Trustees, October 8th, 2020. Roll call, please.
Sorry.
Keith,
Here.
Cliff,
Here.
Bert,
Here.
Wes,
You.
Richard.
Yes.
What's wrong? What are you laughing
I
at?
told her, I said I usually make them front and back and staple them so they have them all together.
I was like, okay.
That's what I was looking for.
Well, when you do a two-pager,
Exactly.
watch page you're gonna put on the back. Consider approval of consent agenda, minutes of the meeting, approval of claims as follows: September purchase orders, $15,416.25. October purchase orders, $89,626.37. September Oklahoma Water Resources Board semi-annual payment, $46,322.42. October meter deposit refunds, $490. Treasurer's report and transfer, $587 from pool cash checking to meter deposit CD.
I move we approve the consent agenda.
Second.
Roll call?
Wes,
Yes.
Keith,
Yes.
Cliff,
Yes.
Bert,
Yes.
Richard.
Yes.
Citizens' comments. Other scheduled business. Discussion with possible action on Waste Connections proposal from September 2020 meeting regarding bulky waste pickup. Tiffany, you want to tell us what you found out on that?
Their contract is, our contract with them is up in July, and with the increased cost that they have proposed to us, I say that we just hold off on anything until our contract renewal. So.
Because it's going to go up.
Yeah,
So.
I'm good.
Okay. Item B is discussion with possible action to increase the rates at the courtesy bulk trash station. I asked Tiffany about tabling this because I feel like we're going to need to make some drastic changes down there. I probably shouldn't use the word drastic, but she has been trying to find somebody who has a mobile tub grinder that contracts, that would come in and grind tree limbs, and so far, no luck.
Have you, and it may not work the same, but the mule herders out west of Hennessey, I know they had to do like, where they go in and they like take up like cedar trees and stuff and grind them. I wonder if they had.
Yeah, they turn that stuff into sawdust.
Yeah.
I mean, they could probably just drive through the pile.
Really?
Yeah, they got 4 bobcats with these grinders on them.
I forgot about them.
Grind that into a, call Carol knew her.
Yeah, I've got her number, Tiffany.
Okay.
But anyway, I thought, you know, if we kind of got some costs together, so we sort of get an idea. If somebody brings in a 20-foot trailer full of limbs, sort of what it's gonna cost us to dispose of them, and maybe try to get some ideas on the metal too, before we.
Didn't we have a contractor come in during the ice storm and do that for us?
If it's, Jack, if it's a
Yes.
FEMA approved
yeah.
disaster, we can get money back from them for some of those. Plus, we can get a burn permit, but it's gotta be
I got you.
it can't be a 70 or 80 mile an hour wind come through town and blow a bunch of limbs down. That's, Tiffany taught me this today, because I wasn't sure.
Has to be declared a disaster.
An actual disaster.
Right.
Okay.
And-
On metal, I don't know why we would take them, to be honest with you. Because we have a place that will take them.
Right.
If we didn't have it, it might be an issue. That's where I stand on that.
So one of your rides out there?
Hers?
Am I out of line?
No, you're right.
You're right.
The only thing is a lot of people like to bring stuff on Saturdays. And
They're not open on
they're not open on Saturdays.
I didn't realize that.
But Bert and I are gonna meet with, or I'm gonna try to meet with Tiger
Yeah.
to see what we can work
See if
out.
they'll work with us.
Mhm.
Good idea.
See if we can come up with something that,
There's a place in Enid that has after hours and weekend, like it's fenced off, and that's where you put stuff if you come in. If you don't want money for it, you just want to get rid of a refrigerator or something, they have an area where you can drop it, and then they come in Monday morning and take it in.
is it a recycling place as
Yeah.
well?
Yeah.
That might be something you could mention to Tiger.
Yeah.
Now, if they want money for it, of course.
Yeah,
they have to
different
do
deal.
Right.
Business hours.
Right.
Right. Well, and if they could take it down there and dump it free, they'd probably much rather do that than paying us to
Yeah.
allow them to dump
Yeah.
it, so. Okay, so if that's okay with everyone, we'll table that. Item C is discussion with possible action to repair high service pump at the water plant.
Alyssa was unable to get the quote in. They have not responded back with the quote on this. I looked back and last May, we got a quote for the same thing. And it was $7,400.
That thing is giving it $80 lunch. Isn't it?
Well,
But
there's
I
a
will tell
solution.
you that we were putting the wrong parts. The pumps, we were getting impellers that were coated with,
I want to say brass.
brass?
I think so.
Coated? Is that right?
I think so.
Because they were thinking that it was untreated water, that it was, before it hit the chemicals. But this is water after the chemicals, and the chemicals was eating, is that right?
or chlorine, I think.
The chlorine was eating up the brass. And the brass we were actually paying extra for this too. And so, once they found that out, they were like, oh, you need the actual,
Plastic ones.
A different type of
a
pellet.
different type of impeller. And it's gonna be cheaper,
Hope it's cheaper.
so.
Well, Tiffany, do we want to go ahead and approve this up to an amount? What do you recommend?
It's up to you guys, we can have a special meeting if we get it. I mean, the high service pump is sounding bad. I mean, the impellers are just about gone out
And
of
that's
it.
something we can't be without.
No, there's two high service pumps. So one's running really good, the other one, when it kicks on with that one, then it, we don't know just how long it's gonna run. So,
What we done the other day was the motor, right?
Yeah. That was,
Was
That
the
wasn't
one
a
we're
high
operating?
service
That wasn't
pump,
high
that was for the
service.
RO.
yeah.
Okay.
So, I know I'm getting confused too. You understand?
didn't realize
Now,
that.
listen, now
Okay.
explain to this to me again.
I would go ahead and approve. I mean,
I really think we should go ahead and
we got to fix
approve.
it. We have to fix it.
We also have, I think they're going back with, they're checking with Rush with a quote, but they also had Caleb, who did our, Caleb with Farmers, who did our lagoon pump. They're having him give us a quote also, so we can see where the better quote is.
Okay.
Well, let's don't do it then.
Well,
We don't
what
want that out.
if we approve up
Well,
to,
if we do, and you give me a quote like that, I'm gonna say, well, guess what, I'm charging $10,000. I wouldn't do it. I'd just, we'll just do talk about
got
it.
it for you.
Okay.
Okay.
But it's important, shouldn't we, that you don't have to tell them how much.
Yeah, we do.
You can watch the video.
Public record.
We are getting two quotes, so I mean, they will have to, you know.
Okay, we could say that, make a motion to repair the high service water plant propellers by purchasing the cheapest, least expensive.
So,
I think we'd probably be better off just to do a special.
Okay.
Not that I wanna come in.
I was trying to save that, Bert.
I know.
The rest of
I
mine's
understand.
busy.
I know.
I may not be here.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be gone 6 days out of the last 15. So just FYI.
So
We'll come,
what you're
well-
saying is don't come trick or treating.
Don't come trick or treat my house.
We'll come, everybody.
I won't be home. I don't have to fix up that 6-foot tube and slide the candy down the tube.
Okay, well, we'll table that one too. Item D is discussion with possible action to renew property liability insurance with OMAG.
Got mine.
You got that? Okay. Said I had to tear up my other one. Won't be that.
You're gonna pout.
I'm gonna pout.
I'll move that, we renew our property and liability insurance with OMAG.
I will second that.
Roll call?
Wes,
Yes.
Cliff,
Yes.
Keith,
Yes.
Bert,
Yeah.
Richard.
Item E is discussion with possible action to approve 2021 REAP application to apply for replacement of water line.
You got that, Keith?
Yeah.
Teresa, you've been extremely quiet tonight, or
I'm
you?
going to sleep.
Huh?
So I'm about to go to sleep.
I move that we approve the 2021 REAP application to apply for replacement of water lines.
Second.
Roll call?
Keith,
Yes.
Wes,
Yes.
Cliff,
Yes.
Bert,
Yes.
Richard.
Item F, accept, reject any resignations not received prior to the posting of the agenda. New business, citizens' comments, councilperson reports.
I'd like to say one thing. I want to thank the girls up front for getting us a trash can at church. Really do appreciate it. We got a really good bottom. And I apologize for all the hassling you all went through. So, thank you again.
I'd like Tiffany to speak of how well the water fixing went yesterday.
Oh, yeah.
that is due to our new valves underneath the water tower. We were able to shut off the water tower at 2:45 yesterday. They started cutting pipe at 2:50, and by 3:30, they had turned the water back on and we had instant pressure. So that's due to us being able to shut that water tower off and not losing 115,000 gallons to just fix a leak.
Amazing. That's awesome.
So,
That's
It
the way it
was-
should work.
That's how it should work.
Yeah.
Exactly. right.
so very proud of those guys. So if you see them, tell them,
Yeah.
good job.
I'll tell you what, I'm really proud of the way everything is working as far as the water department has been jumping on leaks, getting them done, getting them out of the way. I know you guys don't frequent the cemetery as frequently as I do, but it looks amazing.
I drive by and see it. It is
Those guys have done an excellent job out there, and very pleased with how that looks. Parks look great, street department, I just think everything's.
They're working together. They're all coming together and working together. There was new sod laid at the swimming pool, so.
Yes, I saw that.
So, also your January planning meeting, is January 23rd. It's a Saturday. So, mark your calendars.
Seminar room?
The seminar room at the high school.
Planning retreat.
Oh,
Yes.
Tiffany, are you going to put some kind of agenda together for that planning committee?
Yes, we will. Yeah.
Okay, anybody got the last item?
I have a motion to adjourn.
second.
I'm gonna ask you to tear that one up. Roll call?
Cliff,
Yes.
Wes,
Yeah.
Bert,
Probably not.
Richard,
Yes.
Keith.
Yes.